Hi there. Good morning. I am in my backyard garden. I'm reading from the Bible. Today I'm going to read for you a brief overview of the book of Genesis. So I'm taking my reading from the Holy Bible, the New Revised Standard Version that has study helps. And so it's from the study helps that I read a brief overview of the book of Genesis. But before I get started, I do want to talk just a little bit about what you see in the video today. Today I'm showing you a beautiful zinnia flower. We have zinnias all over the yard. Some are pink, some are yellow, some are variegated. This beautiful pink one is in a flower bed where we have mostly all flowers. Okay, enough about the garden. Back to Bible reading. Today I'm reading a brief overview of the book of Genesis, and it's coming from the Holy Bible, the New Revised Standard Version with study helps. The reading begins. Genesis. The word Genesis is derived from a Greek word meaning beginning. The book of Genesis tells of many beginnings, of the world in Genesis 1 and 2, of the human race in Genesis 1 and 2, of marriage in Genesis 2, of sin, Genesis 3, of the Hebrew nation and of God's covenant or agreement with Abraham and Sarah and their descendants, Genesis 12. Greatest emphasis is placed on the last two named. Chapters 1 through 3 deal with questions that have been asked in every age. Where did the world and its inhabitants come from? And why is there evil in the world? In answer to the first question, Genesis says, God created everything. The book does not give details as to how or when this was done. Innumerable fruitless arguments have raged as people have tried to use Genesis to prove or disprove various scientific theories. Genesis is simply not intended to be a scientific report. Rather, Genesis is a confession of faith. It declares that God is the creator of all, and human beings are the climax of God's creation. However, the people whom God created disobeyed God when they were tempted. As a result, evil spread throughout the created world. Genesis chapter 3. The rest of the book and of the Bible tells how God has been active in this world to overcome the effects of sin and to enable all people to receive the eternal blessings for which they were created. The story of Noah and the great flood, Genesis 6 through 9, is a story of both punishment and grace. When people continued to reject God, the waters of the flood were sent to purify the earth by destroying its sinful people. Noah and his family received assurance that God would not again destroy the earth by means of a flood, and God promised to bless Noah's descendants. Chapters 12 through 50 of Genesis focus on Abraham and Sarah, who were called to leave their home and go to a place called Canaan. There, God established a covenant with Abraham, promising to give him a homeland and many descendants. And God said that other nations would be blessed because of him. This promise was repeated and made more clear from time to time throughout the Old Testament until it reached its greatest fulfillment in Christ. Abraham and Sarah were not only the physical ancestors of the Hebrew people, but they were the founders of the Hebrew faith. The stories of their descendants, Isaac, Jacob, and Joseph, conclude the book of Genesis. They all experienced God's presence and blessing in their lives. Though it relates the lives of several ancestors of the faith, Genesis is, above all, a book about God. It was God who began the action, and it was God who created the Hebrew people by calling Abraham and Sarah and promising through a covenant to bless their descendants and all nations. The great Creator is also the giver of blessings and a keeper of promises. This is the message of Genesis. Here ends the reading of a brief overview of the book of Genesis, taken from the Holy Bible, the New Revised Standard Version with study help.